Hey, Motorman here, and if you're ever wondering what does $2,500 buy as far as motorcycles, well, I'm about to show you, and I'm going to explain to you why I got a $2,500 motorcycle. Alright, what we've got here is a 2006 Honda Sabre. This is a water-cooled 1100cc V-twin. They probably made this motor, I'm thinking at least 20 years. They had it in several different motorcycles. There was a touring version with hard bags that they had, I think it was from 1998 until at least 2003. In fact, we had brand new. I think this bike costs about $7,500 in 2006, something like that. You could have bought them for less because they made a ton of them and they were ready to discount them. But pretty good bikes, and the good thing about these is there's lots of parts available still to this day. Bike rides really nice. It's got a pretty good lean angle. This motorcycle has forward controls. That's the way they came. These forward controls sit up quite a bit, so that I'm guessing somewhere around a 34-degree lean angle on these bikes. Harley's, the touring bike's about 32 degrees, so this actually leaned further. And it's got a longer wheelbase, 65 inches, 32-degree rake. So it's a longer motorcycle than, say, a Harley Road King. But because you could lean it a little bit further, it'll turn almost as sharp as those. So the reason I got this motorcycle, I went to the Harley dealer and I wanted the cheapest motorcycle they had, and this was it. 2,500 bucks. It's got, I think, 16,000 miles on it. Pretty good shape. No dents or dings. In fact, there's no rust on it, so I'm guessing this bike was kept inside, because stuff like this, these accessories, they tend to rust pretty easily. But this bike had no rust on it. Let's see, what's the mileage? 12,799 miles since 2006, which is really low miles. It has dual carbs on it. Yes, carburetors, remember those? Well, when I got the bike, I was ready to put some money into it, because when I test rode it, it was running kind of rough. So the carburetors came off, cleaned them off, in fact rejetted them, put new brake pads in, changed the oil and filter, and changed the fluid in the radiator, and the bike runs really good. The reason I got this is to rent for my class. A lot of people come from out of town. They just want to rent a bike for the class. This is very similar in size to, say, a Road King or a Fat Boy, so it works out really well. And like I said, the bike runs pretty good. In fact, we're going to go for a ride right now. Out on the road, this bike runs really good. If you're not familiar with Honda's 1100cc V-twin, it's a dual pin crank, so it sort of sounds like it's missing as you're riding it, but it's really not missing. That's just the character of the motorcycle. But that dual pin crank makes the bike very smooth, even at 70 or 80 miles an hour. It's only got a 5-speed, but it's got a wide ratio transmission, so you put it in 5th gear and there's no tack on it, but I'm guessing at 60 miles an hour it's probably turning over about 3,000 RPM, which is fine. Because I had the mechanic check this bike out, changed the brake pads, the brake fluid, and the radiator fluid, oil, of course, everything that was could possibly get me stranded on the road or have the bike conk out when somebody rents it. That's the last thing I want. So I have this motorcycle now to rent for anybody who's used to riding a Fat Boy or a Heritage or even a Road King. This bike is so similar in size, it's going to react the exact same way as the Harley Davidsons would. And you know, if you're buying a cheap bike, when I say cheap, that's anything between $1,500 and, let's say, $3,500. If you get a Harley in that price range, because they keep their price up so well, you're going to put a ton of money into the bike to make it run properly and look good. Like I said, this bike, 2006, from 10 feet away, it looks like a brand new motorcycle. Out on the road, it runs fine, it's smooth. I did put a new front tire on it. Now, if I was going to take this for any kind of a long trip, I'd probably replace the rear tire as well. So total, I got about $3,000 into it. I'm using the bike to rent it, as you see here. Here's a rider taking it through the course. It's perfect for the purpose that I'm using it for. Now, maybe you just got out of MSF, you got you're a beginner and you don't want to spend a ton of money on a motorcycle, you plan on buying a heavyweight touring motorcycle, get something like this first. Spend at least a year with the motorcycle. If you drop it, no big deal. In fact, I put a set of crash bars on it that's been dropped a couple of times. It lays right there on the crash bars. No damage to the bike, but even if there was damage to it, for my purposes, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to be using this as a training bike. But if you are someone who maybe just wants to get back into riding after many years of not riding the motorcycle, you get something like this where you don't have to worry about it. You could park it any place. Chances are people are not going to steal this motorcycle. Usually the motorcycles that get stolen are the sport bikes or the Harley Davidson touring motorcycles, probably the number 1 and 2 bikes that get stolen, but this you don't have to worry about it. Now, if you like this video and if you'd like to see me reviewing more used motorcycles, whether it be from a dealer or any of you folks out there, you live in the area, you'd like for me to review your motorcycle, just put it in the comment section below. I'd be happy to do so. Most of the time when I'm reviewing motorcycles, it's Harley Davidson, Triumph, BMW in that order. That's because that's what the only dealers around here that'll let you ride their motorcycles. None of the Japanese, Yamaha, Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki, they will not let you ride the bike. You got to buy it first, which of course doesn't make any sense for a review for YouTube. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you'd like to see more of it, just put it in the comment section.